Hello, Internet! Shouth is here, and it's time for another episode of Arena Time here on ShoutStone. We're following Day9's run through the arena, and we're headed into game number 7 right now, so without any further ado, let's get into the action. It is Valeera versus Garrosh. Day9 playing the part of Valeera, the rogue. KitKat playing the part of Garrosh, the warrior. So, here we go. Just a couple days away from Christmas. I did my gift to the community. I gave away the last beta key I had, courtesy of one of my fantastic fans who donated the key to the show. I hope whoever receives that will enjoy it immensely. I'm actually still waiting to hear back from that person, so they do have a 24-hour period to get back to me before I will select someone else. But in the meantime, we got a game that's about to happen here, so his opponent making very, very careful decisions. I hope this is not an indicator of what's in store as far as how slow this game's going to be. But yeah, Day9 right now is currently 5-1 in this run of the arena. This is a pre-patch arena run, so he's only got 4 more wins till GM. Let's see how it goes. Day9's going to be going second here. And no move to start with. And Day9 going to coin out the Defias Ringleader to get things started. That's a nice bit of early aggression with a couple of pretty sturdy minions right off the bat. And they're playing on my favorite map, which is Stormwind, because it's the most destructive map in the game. Alright, Cruel Taskmaster going to come out, and he's going to use that to take out the secondary Defias there. But Day9's going to respond with a backstab. He does have that cold blood, so we can really buff up that Ringleader a little bit. I don't know if he wants to do that yet, though. And he's not going to. He's just going to attack straight in with it, burn his weapon, and get another point of damage. So, a quick 3 points of damage to get the game rolling. Not really much to make any indicator or any to decide anything. But hey, you know. Way to get things started. So, Frothing Berserker now in play for his opponent. Now, we could take it out with a combination of that backstab and the Defias Ringleader. No, is he going to ignore it? He is. He's just going to ignore it completely. And, right now he's going to play that. And put Perdition's Blade into play, which will finish it off. So, pretty good use of cards there. He gets a better weapon in place. He uses the final charge of his Hero Power Dagger. And he still keeps that Ringleader in play. Field is still clear. Some pretty good aggression on the part of Day9. Still only 6 health done, so not really much to do at this point. But on the next turn, he could get a minion out and Cold Blood either it up or that Ringleader. And start doing some pretty significant damage. But right now, the Warrior player needs to make a decision because, I mean, he's basically at a point where he's got to start getting some minions out there that can stay out there. And he's going to put out an Amani Berserker. He does know that Day9 has burned 2 backstabs, so it's not likely he's going to have more. But who knows? Alright. So at this point, Day9 could get out that Ironfur Grizzly and at least distract a minion off of the Defias Ringleader. And he could burn that Cold Blood if he wanted to in combo to get a quick 6 points of damage, which will drop his opponent down to 20. Looks like instead he's going to play that Dark Iron Dwarf. And again, just bypass the minion and start focus firing down the Warrior player. So 10 points down, but it's still in a bit of a risky position because he's left a minion on the field. And that is a difficult position to be in whenever you make moves to deal damage to the hero and not take out opposing minions, especially this early in the game. It can certainly be a bit risky. I think the focus fire for that Berserker is probably going to be that Ringleader, because it can be taken out of play, and both minions that are on the field are 4/4, so are 4 damage. So, all right, and he does get a Mortal Strike out there. So he's able to clear the field. Very good play there. So now with an empty field. Day9 has to start over. He's going to play that Injured Blademaster and River Crocolisk. Not going to burn the last charge on his weapon. I think he wants to save that for a bit of removal, which is probably a good play. But we are getting into the midpoint of the game where some of the minions are going to get a little bigger and a lot harder to contain with weapons and small minions. So we will see what's going to happen here. Now, as far as the warrior player goes, he's going to have a few different options usually. Cleave certainly an option, but I think minions are really most important at this point. He hasn't really been able to leave a minion out there for very long, and that's going to be the only way I think he's really going to be able to deal some significant damage here. Though the last play's removal was pretty good, and it did help keep Day9 at bay for a little bit. But I don't know what he's looking at. A kingdom for an observer mode, Blizzard. Alright, he's going to use shield block to gain quick 5 points of armor and drop a Scarlet Crusader. There's another Cold Blood, so he could get a minion buffed up pretty significantly. And he's going to play that Iron Fur Grizzly, and he could... Alright, he's going to pop the Divine Shield. And he's going to Cold Blood up... he's going to Cold Blood up at least one. Yeah, and he's just going to do the one. So now he's got his opponent in a pretty good position. He's down to 15 health. He's reached that critical halfway point where the tide of the game can start to turn. Now, of course, as we all know, it is not definitive at this point. We don't know what's lurking in that deck. We don't know what's lurking in that hand for this warrior player. He could get something out that will completely shift the tide of this game back in his favor. Or I should say in his favor, because he's been on the back foot this entire game. Right now, I mean, the minion advantage is clearly in Day9's favor. He's going to do a quick trade here. So that'll get rid of that taunt minion, which is really the only move he could have made at that point, unless he was hoping for a spell, but it doesn't look like it. So right now, warrior player, considering... Alright, he's going to freeze that minion down. Alright, so Kobold Geomancer, and he could play that Cold Blood on the Injured Blademaster and get another nice chunk of damage if he wants to risk leaving that. I mean, that could be actually a good play. I mean, he's gotten a lot of good use out of that Injured Blademaster already, so even if he lost it on the next turn, it's not really that big of a deal, and he could make it an 8 damage minion. So he could get a really nice swing out of it, and I think shut things down pretty well. But no, he's just going to trade some minions and a quick point of damage to deal with it. Throw down that Kobold Geomancer and weapon up again. So it's an interesting decision there. I mean, that could be a good move. I think he's just waiting to evaluate where he wants to play that Cold Blood. I don't know if the warrior player is going to have any more control cards like that. You know, usually you don't have very many control cards like that in a deck that's not, you know, a mage, but they're out there. This is a difficult position, I think. I mean, Day9 is starting to get lower in health, but he's still got a significant advantage there. Excuse me. The major advantage right now is certainly in favor of the warrior player in terms of card advantage. And options are good. Options are very good, especially when you start getting into the late game like this. When you start running low on options, you're basically stuck into a state of top draw, which is kind of where Day9 is right now. Alright, so Mad Bomber comes into play. Fortunately for the warrior player, all of its damage was focused on Day9's minions. Acidic Swamp Ooze, a very useful card against a warrior. Surprisingly, we have not seen any weapons for this warrior player yet. Alright, so Day9 weapons up again, plays that Acidic Swamp Ooze early. That could be a good move for the warrior player. He could have seen that, okay, now that Swamp Ooze is out, that's usually a typical card you'll see in Arena, so he might have been waiting for that, and now he can put his weapon into play and actually get some use out of it. Assuming, of course, that he has a weapon to play. Now, that's really the big trick here. Card advantage still in the warrior player's favor, but it's getting smaller. And there it is, Arcanite Reaper. So he is able to get that card into play. Now, is he going to burn a charge on the minion, or is he going to start focusing on the hero? No, he will burn on the minion, and he's going to play a Tauren Warrior. Now Day9 is in a risky position. Well, he's got that Mad Bomber. It's really all he can do. He's going to have to try to risk it. Well, first he's going to deal a quick point of damage to the opposing minion, and count his blessings. Oh no, and every strike hits him in the face. Exactly what you don't want to have happen. Because now he's sitting, see, he should have probably played that Mad Bomber first before he triggered the Enrage on that Tauren Warrior and see, you know, what's going to happen, then do his attack if he could finish it off. But instead, well, no, actually that was probably a good move because he took the smaller damage. But, oh man, it's a risky play, and now he is really low on HP, and his opponent is looking pretty good to make a comeback here. He's going to burn that last charge to the Arcanite Reaper to clear the field, leave those really strong minions out there. And another Fen Creeper. This was the point where things are going to start to get dangerous. Well, there's a Core Hound. It's not going to survive long, but there it is. Day9's certainly at a point where he can't really use his weapon for removal, so he's probably not going to use it at all. But, I don't know if... I mean, honestly, yeah, his opponent's just not going to care. And there it is, GG. Day9, unfortunately, loses the game because he just didn't have anything he could use to deflect that incoming damage, and he got put into a state of top draw. And like I said, mid to late game, that gets really, really risky if you don't have any clearly defined, you know, when you're in a state of top draw, it's just bad luck because you never know what you're going to get, and if you haven't burned through a lot of cheap minions early, then that's probably what you're going to get as you go forward. But there you have it. That's going to do it for this episode of Arena Time, this episode of ShoutStone. I'll be back on Wednesday with the next round of whatever. Probably another Trump game, but we'll see. I might start digging around for some Total Biscuit matchups. But anyway, that is going to do it. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to find me on Facebook and Twitter. Links in the description. Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, and I will see you all next time.